loudly about things that you already know about. Okay guys, we're going to do a short video today about Basil and kind of the things that I've been working on, but also just start giving you guys more information about dogs and how dogs function and what their brains are like and what they need to be fulfilled and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, on top of just Basil's separation anxiety, which is so much better already, but was very severe when she arrived, it's very obvious that, you know, there haven't been too many rules and boundaries established yet with you guys. You know, maybe a little bit, but to me, it kind of seems like what Basil wants, Basil gets. And what that does is that creates a very entitled dog, and it doesn't create a dog that's willing to listen to us when we need them to. Come. It's like, there's not a lot of incentive for a dog to listen in an exciting moment when at the end of the day they're still going to get everything they ask for, you know. Let's go. So, and some of the ways that you struggle with her, that's where that stems from. Obviously not knowing how to train her is one thing, but in general, dogs are going to be less inclined to listen to their owners if they're like spoiled rotten, you know, and there's a reason why it's called rotten, because, you know, it just kind of creates this dog that really feels entitled to do whatever they want whenever they want, and it's actually reinforced. That's the sad part, is that it is reinforced through affection and many other things, food, to the point where the dog really kind of feels like they're in charge of everything. What they say goes, and at the end of the day we feel very exhausted by that as dog owners, because you think, wow, I'm giving you everything I possibly think you could want, and you're still not listening to me. And it's like, that's actually not how it works. It doesn't work that way in parenting either. It's not about giving them what they want, it's actually about providing a set of structure and routine and rules and boundaries that kind of shows them who's in control, you know, who's in charge, who's the authority figure, who's going to be calling the shots, and what are the rules going to look like. You know, that's how to properly raise an animal and a child, for that matter. So, in terms of not really sure why I chose to make this video at 5 p.m., but you know, that's cool. Come. So, regardless of this sense of entitlement that I feel Basil has developed, it's important to understand that on an instinctual level, dogs just don't think the way that we do. They have a different set of rules, or they have a different psychology and a different DNA that's going to, let's go, automatically make them view the world a lot differently than we would. E-collar right now, and the reason why Basil keeps lifting her leg up is because the e-collar is controlling her and she doesn't like to be told what to do. So it's not so much oh my god, this collar is bothersome, as much as how can I get this control mechanism off my neck. make assessments on dogs that come here, you know, the more resistance I get from the dog, and the more they kind of fight my tools, the more it's kind of more and more obvious that, you know, at home they probably get away with a lot more than the average dog. And maybe they don't get away with a lot more. Maybe that's not it. Maybe they just get a lot more attention than the average dog. And that can come in forms of affection or toys or treats or, you know, constant adventures or whatever, constant attention. The dog kind of feels like their ego gets real big, you know? They kind of start to feel like, oh man, I'm the king of the castle or the queen of the castle. And so, you know, that seeing how Basil responded to the EFAR, it's kind of silly, and it's gonna go away. It'll go away for me, and then it's gonna pop back up for you. Let's go. So I'll get rid of it, and then she's gonna start doing it towards you guys again because she's not gonna want to listen to you at first. Let's go. But this kind of resistance to, I don't really want to follow you, I want to do my own thing. You know, some of that's rooted in this entitlement thing that I'm discussing. But the other part, on a genetic level, it also has to do with drives, and that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. Looks like the 10th car that's driven by. I don't know why I did it. I apologize for all the cars. I don't know, I wasn't like thinking about the time it was when I decided to make this video. I'm going to send you home with a packet of information so you can actually read a lot about what I'm going to discuss now, but I thought it would help our consultation go by faster if I went ahead and just discussed drives with you via this video. So, you know, basically we focus on 3 primary drives in dogs. These are genetic drives. These are genetic variations that make up your dog's DNA. And they all have different levels, you know. So, in other words, some dogs have higher drives than others. Some dogs have lower drives than others. So every dog kind of has their own imprint in terms of drives. But it is genetic. It is DNA. And it's going to tell you a lot of different things about the dog. So the first one is prey drive, which that's going to tell you, you know, what type of predator are we looking at here, you know? Does this dog have a high predatory state of mind where they really like to hunt everything? And by hunt, I don't necessarily mean kill as much as the dog is triggered by prey animals or any movement that would mimic a prey animal to the point where they want to chase after it. That's what I'm referring to as prey drive. So, prey drive actually has physical features in the dog. So when the cool thing about drives is that you can actually tell what drive a dog is in just by different cues in their body language and their behavior. So right now she is scenting the air right now. It's kind of windy. She's taking in all the smells. That's prey drive. She doesn't sniff the ground as much as I think she was. I think that's Dobermans like to keep their head upright because they like to guard. But anytime a dog is sniffing or scenting the ground or the air, they're in prey drive. You notice how she's holding her body. This is actually a mild pose. Now I broke it by rubbing my hand against her. I'll see if I can reposition her here. Let's go. There we go. I want to show you that right there. This posture right here, that is prey drive. Mixed with a little different drive, but I don't want to talk about that yet. So, if you rewind, the ears were erect, and I don't know if you could see it. I'm sure she'll do it again because she does it all the time. But there it is. See that? Forehead is scrunched. The ears are very forward and erect and heightened. And now the head, you know, the head is no longer even with the body. The head is very raised up above the body, right? So these are all indicators of a dog being in prey drive. That particular prey drive is more oriented in tightening. Come here. That state of mind is more rooted in a heightening of the eyes and the ears. And that gets dogs way more in trouble. That particular state of mind, 60% of a dog's brain is utilized by the nose. So if they're using their nose to investigate their environment, they're more likely to get an accurate assessment of what's going on. When they stare at things like I just showed you, they are in a heightened state of mind. They are concerned, they are worried, they are in prey drive, and because they're not using their primary sense, they're oftentimes very inaccurate about their assessment on the environment. And when Basil first got here, that drive I just showed you, sit down. And that's insecurity right there. Sit down. That's insecurity, right? That doesn't have anything to do with drives. Just want to point that out because she does that all the time as well. You know, she sits and she lifts her paw. Oh, I'm not real sure. What is that? Let's go. So, when Basil first got here, that erect ears, that scrunched forehead, you know, she walked around like that. She didn't even go in and out of that drive. She actually was walking in it constantly. This is an obnoxious video and I apologize. But, so she walked around like that everywhere. Everywhere she looked was head up. What is that? Oh God, what is that? What is that? What is that? Right? And she wasn't in the right, you know, she didn't, that's not a very good state of mind to be in. They really make very, very, very terrible assessments in that state of mind. The other thing about the way she's holding herself, that's a very nervous posture, right? So I just got done explaining to you the insecure leg lift. I see it all the time. But the way she tucks her butt under and she picks her head up. That's the way she moved everywhere the first couple of days she was here. She's lined out. Stop. It's not gonna come off, Sass. Sorry. That head up, erectness, and then that tucked butt. That was her main posture. It's a very nervous posture. So she was feeling alone. She was feeling nervous. She was feeling edgy. She was feeling alert. And it's like, if that's usually when they come to me in that state of mind, that's the state of mind that they're exhibiting at home. Right? So like when you're taking her on walks and hikes, if she's not fixated on a piece of food, which I don't use food when I train dogs, you know, you might not have seen it as much as I do. But you probably saw it when you ran into a dog and she could no longer fixate on your treat, that all of a sudden her head pops up and she's, I'm really nervous, I'm really nervous. So, this is a bit of prey drive mixed with body language that I'm discussing right now. This is super common in Dobermans. Dobermans have tendencies to be more nervous and edgy. Let's go. Because they're bred to guard. So, if you are going to own a guard dog, you almost have to be prepared that they're going to be paranoid. You know, because their genetic outline, if you read anything about Dobermans, is to protect. So, as a protector, they need to be on all the time, and they need to be nervous about the environment. Let's go. So they can fend away strangers. Good job. So not only does this tie into this predatory state of mind, but it also ties into the breed. As much as I do believe that breeds without, no, I should rephrase it like this. Purebreds without a leader are going to exhibit their genetic traits. Come. Good. It's not coming off, Zach. I'm not taking it off. Sit. You're going to notice as the videos start rolling in that this trying to get it off thing. Oh, that's actually really tight. It's going to start going away. Anyway, so any dog that doesn't have a leader is going to start exhibiting their genetic traits, you know, whatever they're predisposed to. If they don't have someone giving them constant direction and guidance and taking the lead for them, they will take the lead for you. And so what I'm seeing in her right now, there you go, there's the trait, that's the nervous prey drive stance. Head up. Her butt's not as tough as it usually is, probably because she knows Hillary walking over there. Come. But that's the posture right there. That's the posture that's going to make her that guard dog that I don't want, but maybe you do. Good. Yes. So, you know, this is something that's going to be important for you to understand and learn about your dog as the days go by, because if you want to be her leader and you would like a nice, friendly dog that doesn't guard you constantly, you are going to need to be aware of that state of mind and when she's in it. And there's going to be a multitude of ways that I teach you how to handle it. And the biggest way I like to handle it is recall them out of it over to me. And I'm not going to explain why, because that's going to take too long, but I need to redirect that state of mind and show it a different way of being so that they don't feel like they're leading me and they feel like I am giving them the direction they need to understand that right now, I don't need you to guard me. I'm not interested in it, and I don't need it. Let's go. So, before I go on to the next drives, we're going to explain a couple things. One, she saw a dog yesterday she's unfamiliar with, and her first reaction was to run at it and bark. Right? It was like, no. No thanks. There wasn't even any hesitation. She didn't even think about it. She didn't even assess the situation. She just saw the dog and took off. And I have a long line, so she couldn't get anywhere, but she took all 15 feet of line and she's heckles up, right? This is a dog that's in prey drive. She's nervous. She's reactive. She's not even thinking about it or assessing the situation. She's just reacting to it, and she's forward moving on top of it. Right now, she's 7 months of age, so that doesn't mean anything to you, because, or probably doesn't mean anything to you. It's probably something you've seen a lot of. To me, this is the foundation of aggression. This is when aggression forms, right? Like, aggression doesn't just happen. Aggression is an accumulation of things that create the actual aggression. And it starts with, I'm nervous, I'm alert, I'm on edge, who the heck's that strange dog? I'm gonna run at it, barking to make sure it knows I'm a big badass. And I'm in charge of my owners, and I'm guarding, right? And maybe your interpretation of it was, she just loves dogs and she's super friendly. But from what I've assessed so far, she is very friendly, but this is the first step of her going, stranger danger. Come over here. Come on. Stranger danger, who are you? I need to go and huff and puff and make sure you know that I'm a big badass Doberman and I'm here to protect my parents. So that's what she's saying. This isn't like I just wanted to go run over and greet them thing. And you know, you may have seen her react differently to different dogs. That probably has more to do with the dog's temperament than it does to how she's feeling and what she means by her approach. Because a dog's temperaments will change the dog's approach. Right? They might not bark, or maybe their hackles don't always go up. So you might, if you think about it, come up with different scenarios where maybe she doesn't look like that every time, but I promise you that forward motion, that, oh my God, there's a strange dog, I'm nervous, like that's all coming from that Doberman. And if you keep allowing that, which I know you don't want it, but if it keeps happening, you know, you could have a dangerous dog on your hands. So, you know, I also kind of wanted to, the thought of a dog that's excited, that has a waggy tail just popped up in my mind, because that's something a lot of times people will use as a gauge for what the dog's intention was. You know, oh, but, no, but she wags her tail when she says hi. She just wants this play. And I wanted to make sure to touch on that, because dogs actually wag their tails before they kill something. So it's not really a good assessor for how they feel, because really it's just describing excitement, and it's not describing happiness. So excitement and happiness are two very different things, and a dog can be excited when they're happy, but the dogs can be excited when they want to go hunt, kill something too. So if that ever crossed your mind while I was talking, I just want to kind of breach over that, because waggy tail is not an indication of friendliness, and if I was in a pack of dogs socializing them, I wouldn't even look at that. I wouldn't look at the wag. I would look at the position, and I'm not even going to go into that, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up on that. So, what time is it? 5:22. The other drive is Pack Drive, which is the drive I'm trying to keep her in right now. That's why I keep moving her and turning her and, you know, keeping her with me. And this state of mind is going to look like a very soft forehead. The ears are going to kind of pinch back. Not pinch, but just softly lay to the side instead of so perked forward. You won't see a wrinkle in their forehead. They're going to hold their body more even. You know, it's going to be more of a line and less of a teeter-totter. Go. And Pack Drive is also instinctual. It's also genetic. They're all designed to be a part of a pack. They're supposed to work together with their pack. They're supposed to take information from their pack. Their pack is supposed to be a unit that works together. So it's actually very, very non-instinctual for them to be reacting to things without the pack being involved, right? So what I'm trying trying to do is build her pack drive, because she was all prey drive when she came in, so that she starts to go, I need to look for my pack, I need to be attentive, I don't want to run off anywhere because I'm with my pack and they're more important. I need to look to my leaders for cues. And really, you know, regardless of all the excitement, I need to be very aware of where my pack is at all times, because that's all that matters to me in my life is my pack, and I want to know where they are all the time. So these turns that I'm doing, I'm going to teach you at the midweek. Come on, let's go. Because what they're doing is keeping her in an attentive state of mind. So, no, out. Let's go. That's prey drive. Putting things in your mouth. Out. She's bored. She's a pup. She's bored. She's like, what are we doing? We're just walking this same stupid line over and over again. Oh, I just want to play, you know? But it's prey drive oriented regardless. So dogs have a real, when they're in that state of, leave it. When they're in that prey drive all the time, they get addicted to it. And when I start to try to kind of flip the teeter-totter so the pack drive overrides the prey drive, they start to really kind of crave some of these things that put them in that state of mind. Now we're going to fulfill the prey drive in another video, so it's not that I'm going to suppress it by any means, but right now, the primary activity that I'm sharing with her is lots and lots of turns, lots of long leash recalls, and by recall I mean Basil come all the way to me, like this. Basil come, out, out. Because all these different turns and recall and all this momentum guiding her back towards me is building up this, I need to look to my handler, this person has information, I should be aware of where she is, I don't really get anywhere unless all the information goes through her, so I'm going to start looking at her more. And then you have a dog who's in tune, who thinks the handler is relevant, who starts looking at the handler for information. And honestly, it's just a healthier state of mind to be in. Let's go. The predatory state of mind is going to be much more, you know, it's not a very good pet. Having a dog who is in a constant state of mind that would be equivalent to dog hunting all the time is toxic. It's toxic, and it doesn't make a very good pet. It doesn't make them live in a home very well. They're always on edge. So bringing out this pack drive is going to make her feel more like a pet and less like a guard dog. And I think that's what you wanted when you got her. So I need to teach you, sit, how to build. See the attentiveness I get? No, she's not real sure. And I think that's because I'm making her sit off the stick. Tessa doesn't like to sit. Sit. Good. Good. See that attentiveness? So I'm just trying to build this connection, you know, where, hey, we're not just hanging out so you can go do whatever the hell you want and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, but like I actually want you to be a part of the agenda, and I want you to listen to me and look at me and be a part of the family and not just this bystander that I take places to run around like a bat out of hell. Now the last thing I want to talk about is defense drive. That's the level of a dog's security, how a lower defense dog is going to represent insecurity, a low ability to handle stimulation, and higher defense is going to be like a service style dog where lots of confidence and they can handle lots of stimulation without being pushed into fight or flight. Go. So right now I'm thinking that she's more along the lines of medium defense because she doesn't scare much, but I don't know yet because she's had so much anxiety that it's really super hard to read everything that she truly is, because the anxiety just at first just overriding anything that she could have been. We're not doing sticks, dude. but she's also a very nervous dog. So she's not like a flight dog where if she sees something she's gonna flight, but she will run at things that make her nervous. So definitely lower end, sit down, of the medium defense drive scale. Right now her pack drive is medium high and her prey drive is very high. Let's go. So what I want to do is get that pack drive to be as high or higher than the prey drive, so we have a dog that can start controlling their instincts better and focusing more in on their pack and less in on strange packs or animals they shouldn't be chasing or people they shouldn't be barking at, you know, things like that. Sit down. These are all genetic traits. These are all things that she is. We're not gonna be able to alter the drives all that much because they are who she is. But anxiety is an amazing thing. It makes pre-drive higher and defense drive lower, and pack drive goes to shit. Anxiety does terrible things to dogs, which is why she needs a crate. And probably like significantly less coddling. But that's my assessment on her drives. That's kind of the explanation of drives. This might interest you. It might seem kind of weird to you, but this is something that I think is extremely important for every dog owner to understand, because it gives you, not only does it tell you what your dog is capable of and how they're going to respond to their environment. Sit down. But it also, you goober, sit. Understanding where drives and body language come together will help you know how she feels about such situations and know how to address them properly. For instance, when she stares at a dog the way I was describing in that heightened prey drive state, you know that you need to recall her out of it and redirect her. If you didn't know how to read that, you might not know when you need to address what you need to address. So these are very important things. I'm going to wrap this video up because my client just showed up. Hope you liked.